Action.
Hi, my name is Callie Harris, and I'm working with Harrison Gypsum, and I'm working on a project to develop a decision support system to improve their mixing scheduling process. So Harrison Gypsum is the parent company to Allied Custom Gypsum, and Allied Custom Gypsum is actually what operates the plant that our project is based off of. And they control everything of the production of gypsum from raw materials all the way to finished products. So they do the mining of gypsum all the way to the packaging and sending out of finished goods. And gypsum is a mineral that is extracted from the earth, and it is used in many things such as food, turf, beer, cement, and it can also be used as a soil additive. So it's used in a variety of different things. At this processing plant in Moreland, most of their products are made to order, and this is predominantly due to the short shelf life of gypsum products. So they don't have a huge warehouse where products are just sitting around being made nonstop, and then people can just kind of order. People call into the plant and make specific orders for things that they need. They also produce two main types of products. There's alpha-based plaster and beta-based plaster. And there's roughly 50 different variations of the two plasters. Here is a flow chart of what the production plant in Moreland looks like. So there, as you can see, there's two lines. There's the alpha plaster and the beta plaster. And each of these plasters are made according to a specific sequence of events, but that's not really important for the problem that we're solving. And they go into the mixer, and after the mixer, they are sent to one of three packing lines. And so as you can see, the mixer is kind of the point in which both of these lines converge, and then it also is where things go out of. So it's a very central part of the system. So kind of the background of the problem, currently this plant is operating without a systematic approach. Managers go in and say, well, things look like they're going well, so they just kind of assume things are going well. There's no way to validate or verify that they're actually doing things properly or the most efficient that they could be. Also, they don't really have any decision-making tools. That kind of comes along the lines of no systematic approach. They don't have any spreadsheets that identify where problems are. They just are using their intuition and experience. Also, they have some bottlenecks in their system, and they've never really quantified these bottlenecks. They have a general idea of where the bottlenecks are, but they don't know how big these issues are and what it's doing to the system as a whole. Also, they recently implemented a new cooking kettle in the beta line, and this is changing the production rate of beta, and they haven't really been able to implement this to where they're getting full use out of it, because right now they're just kind of alternating between the two kettles because they don't know how to implement it properly. And also they have a problem with limited storage. Their warehouse is small, and also their storage tanks can only hold a limited amount, so sometimes they just have to turn off the alpha or beta line because they run out of storage in their tanks. And so that's also a problem they're having. But we, after examining the entire system, we decided that the mixer is the point in the system in which we can start with a systematic approach and improve upon that, which could lead to improving these other problems that you see. So some problems with the way that they're currently scheduling their mixer. It's not systematic and it's highly intuitive. They have a basic spreadsheet in which a highly experienced employee is responsible for creating a weekly schedule. So basically, he just uses his experience and knowledge of, oh, these items require setup times, but there's really nothing that validates or verifies that. And sometimes, you know, as people make mistakes, that happens. And so there's no really check as to make sure that he's making the most efficient and appropriate decision for the schedule. Also, there's varying production schedules. Alpha and beta are produced 24 hours a day. The plant operates 24 hours a day. However, they're only producing finished goods 12 hours a day. So we have these two lines that are constantly producing product, and then they're just going to these storage tanks and are only getting mixed 12 hours a day. And so the tank levels are really controlling the ability of the mixer to work efficiently. So issue. So if we can even out their mixing schedule, we'll be able to kind of have more control over these variations. And as you see here, this is what their current mixing schedule spreadsheet looks like. It's just all user input, and there's no output or anything. It's just he just makes the schedule basically for the production team to look at. And here's also a current outbound load, and this just kind of gives an idea of what types of quantities they're dealing with and what a demand looks like. So the current scheduling process is not accurate. It also leads to a lot of communication problems. One thing when interviewing the company that we realized very early on was that there's not very good communication between sales and production. Sales teams will go out and get new sales and promise, yes, we can have this product done in 2 weeks. However, once it gets to the production line, they don't really know if that's feasible. And so with a decision support tool to help with their scheduling, it would be more feasible to say, yes, we can finish that whenever you need it. Also, they're dealing with a lot of waste due to the scheduling decisions that the scheduler is making without properly identifying where the waste is happening. It's hard to quantify how much waste is actually happening. So they really have no idea of how much time and materials they're wasting. Also, their forecasting ability, they can't really forecast. Again, this goes on to the communication. And again, this does not adequately support their decision making. So our objectives with this project is to create a decision support tool to improve their scheduling process. And so here's kind of just a flow diagram of some of the ideas we had. Basically, this tool will help them to validate their decisions. It could impact different scheduling alternatives, show kind of how different changes in the schedule will impact the different alternatives. And also, it will help with communication between departments. Some other things we hope to deliver to the company are providing analysis of the decision support tool. So basically, how much is this tool going to cost to implement and to build? Also, what are the financial benefits of implementing the tool? Once they implement it, is it really going to cut down on their waste? And also, what we recommend, possibly future projects, how they could expand upon the work we've done. And in order to measure our success for this problem, we hope to improve the schedule slack time forecasting ability. So we just want to facilitate that communication between sales and production. Also, just improved available to promise estimations, so they can know exactly when they'll be able to promise a product to a company. And also, the ability of the scheduler to manipulate the schedule and to see how it impacts things, where waste occurs, and maybe how he can change it and look at different alternatives. So the initial solution approach, we need to understand and quantify the variability. As you know, with schedules, there's all sorts of variations that can happen. Some of them are predictable, others not so predictable. However, with this problem, there are a set of very predictable variations in the mixing times, and that includes cleanup times, due dates, quantities produced, run times per unit, setup times, and washouts between mixes. And how we plan to quantify these is just basically statistical analysis. They've given us data of all of their mixing runs for the past few years, and so we want to look at that and kind of see what averages are and generally how long things take. Also, we need to figure out the best approach to creating a useful tool. What is it that the scheduler needs the most? What variables are impacting this schedule the most? You know, some of these variables only occur once a month, and so they're not that important. So we need to identify what is the most important thing and identify what can be predicted and controlled, and then consult with spreadsheet experts to figure out how the best way to implement these ideas. And so some possible ideas that we have would be an input of order and the product and the quantity and perhaps the due date, and then our system will analyze the given sequence which the scheduler inputs, and then the output would be the run and completion time And our data collection plans